I am John David Sasusko from BSIT 2A Night. Today we tackle about, what is biodiversity? What are some threats to biodiversity? What are the actions should be taken to conserve it? And why is there a need to conserve biodiversity? First, what is biodiversity? The term biodiversity, from biological diversity, refers to the variety of life on Earth at all its levels, from genes to ecosystems, and can encompass the evolutionary, ecological, and cultural processes that sustain life. Biodiversity is the variability among living organisms from all sources, including terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems, and the ecological complexes of which they are part. This includes diversity within species, between species, and of ecosystems. Biodiversity boosts ecosystem productivity where each species, no matter how small, all have an important role to play. For example, a larger number of plant species means a greater variety of crops. Greater species diversity ensures natural sustainability for all life forms. Next is, what are some threats to biodiversity? First threat is habitat fragmentation. Ecosystem conversion and ecosystem degradation contribute to habitat fragmentation, habitat loss from exploitation of resources. Agricultural conversion and urbanization is the largest factor contributing to the loss of biodiversity. Next threat is exotic species introductions. Infestation by alien species, such as the codling moth, is also a major threat to BC ecosystems. The intentional and inadvertent introductions of a wide variety of species to ecosystems in which they do not belong have resulted in ecosystems that differ radically in structure and function from those originally present. The interactions between native species are altered or destroyed by these exotic species, and can result in the loss of native biodiversity. Next threat is pollution. Atmospheric and hydrologic pollution have far-reaching negative effects on biodiversity. Pollution from burning fossil fuels such as oil, coal and gas can remain in the air as particle pollutants or fall to the ground as acid rain. Species sensitivity to pollution is variable. However, many species are vulnerable to the indirect effects of pollution through the concentration of toxic chemicals and top predators of food chains and disruption of predator-prey interactions. And the next threat I will discuss is global climate change. Carbon dioxide released from burning fossil fuels and biomass, deforestation, and agricultural practices contributes to greenhouse gases, which prevent heat from escaping the Earth's surface. Next topic is, what are the actions should be taken to conserve it? Our first actions is, support local farms. Regularly buying from small local farmers at stands or markets helps to keep dollars in the local economy and supports agricultural efforts to conserve biodiversity. Second is, save the bees. Bees are important to preserving biodiversity, and they are increasingly under attack from varroa mites. You can help save them by planting nectar-producing wildflowers in your backyard, or even building bee boxes for local bees to call home. When embarking on DIY home projects, be mindful about the products you use, as standard backyard pesticides can be harmful or deadly to bees. And the next is, know the source. Check the products you buy and the companies you support to ensure that your buying habits are not contributing to destruction of habitat elsewhere. Our last but not the least topic is, why is there a need to conserve biodiversity? Biodiversity conservation is vital for economic growth and poverty reduction. A majority of the world's poor live in rural areas and depend upon forests, water, wetlands, fields and pastures for their livelihoods. Some 1.6 billion people in the world rely on forests and non-timber products for income and subsistence. Biodiversity conservation can help address the effects of climate change. Conserving habitats can reduce the amount of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere. Conserving mangroves and other coastal ecosystems can lessen disastrous impacts of climate change such as flooding and storm surges. Projects that reduce the vulnerability of species and ecosystems to climate change impacts can safeguard essential ecosystem services such as air and water purification, pollination and food production, and carbon sequestration. That is all for today. Thank you.